Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first Train Sim World 6 video. Today we are on the Spoorlijn Zwolle to Groningen route, and I must apologize in advance for my Dutch pronunciations. This is the only Dutch route we currently have in TSW. This is, we are driving the ICMm Koploper from here at Zwolle up to Groningen. And yeah, this unit reminds me of a Japan Rail unit that I've ridden on in real life, the JR683 series, which has a very similar design ethos despite being on a different loading gauge, 3-foot 6-inch gauge versus standard gauge for the Koploper. I'll probably have my editorial self flash up a picture of that for you. Anyway, yeah, I'm back. It's been about a week. If I sound congested, that's because I am. I'm still pretty congested. I've been suffering from a viral infection the past week or so please forgive me for any for some weird stuff on the auditorial front. Maybe I'll probably have to mute my mic. Anyway, so yeah, let's hop in. Yeah, so I do know how to drive the Koploper, so master key, which is here, main mode to driving, reverser forward, unlock the doors, let's get the instrument lights on, let's also get the safeties on. I do know how to use ATB. Let's unlock the brakes, put those to fill. Yeah. The Koploper is a really cool unit, I must say. It is a really good unit. Very cool. There's another Koploper drawing in. The station design on this route is really good. This has to be one of my favorite routes. Dovetail Games routes in the game now. It is very, very good, this route. There's an SNG 3 Sprinter, which is the other train included with the route. And then there are also a couple of layers from, what was it? There's one layer for the Kenzigtaubahn for a couple of Vectron services, and then there's also a couple of layers for some, for the Voslo G6 by Trains in Germany off of Rhein-Ruhr-Osten. Wow, I am sounding really congested. Sorry, viewers, but yeah, I can't do anything about it, I'm afraid. Yeah, the Koploper's a pretty cool unit. Right, we're just about ready to go. Doors closing. Yeah, if you're wondering what service this is IC539 Rotterdam Centraal to Groningen. Let's give it notch 5. Next stop, Assen in 63 kilometers. So yeah, this is like a limited express service. We're not stopping everywhere today. Goodness, sorry about that cough, everybody. Yeah. This thing is a pretty quick accelerator. There goes the dead man's pedal. Also, if you're wondering, I have actually changed recording software from OBS over to... Is that a man riding a bike? Hang on. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize NPCs could ride bikes on this route. I thought that was only on the West Somerset Railway, but it makes sense for them to include it for Holland. What's pretty interesting about the electrification on this route is it's actually pretty low power. The electrification in Britain, for example, is 25 kilovolts AC. Here, for the overhead wires in most of Holland, it seems it's only 1500 volts via DC, which is pretty outdated. That's full juice. We've also got dynamic suspension, guard mode. No announcements, sadly. I wish it could have announcements for this route. This thing is, the Koploper is such a cool unit. Like, I absolutely love driving this thing. This isn't my first time on Zwolle to Groningen. I haven't done any services, but I was just, like, getting to know the Koploper because it's a completely new country for me. And I needed to figure out how the ATB worked, etc. So, yeah. Does this thing have a... This thing doesn't have a cruise control. Yeah, the scenery on this route is also pretty decent as well. I do really like the scenery. Look how high we're sitting up. This is insane. Right. Ooh, ATV has gone green, which means we're clear up to a quite high speed. Right. We've got 40 minutes to get to Assen. Man, this route looks good. This is one of the few cases in recent times where Dovetail Games actually has made a cracker of a decent route. Because they don't make... A lot of their stuff is recycled. But... Oh no. This is like properly good in its own right. I did have to wait for a decent sale. I got this at 30% off in the Steam Autumn sale, but yeah. Dutch bells for the railway crossings, which is pretty dang cool. Look at the scenery as well. The scenery is really beautiful. It's flat because it's Holland, but yeah. Wonder what the top speed of this unit is. Ooh, we have a blind. Oh wow, that really cuts off your field of view. Before the dead man's buzzer goes off, you actually hear psh sound as the as an air cylinder fills up or deflates. I don't know, but it's still pretty cool. It's very... Let's check my recording software. Lovely. Yeah, I decided to use NVIDIA software because, well, it made most sense to use it because it's like built into the computer and it knows how to since I have an NVIDIA graphics card, it knows how to use my resources to the best of their ability. OBS is just taking far too much performance even at lower settings, which is very annoying. Did you hear that? Like the sound as the air cylinder triggered for the dead man's pedal. That's so cool. I love the sounds on this. But as ever with Dovetail Games roots, there is a missed opportunity. Dovetail missed a grand opportunity to add the 4-car variants of both the SMG3 and the Koploper. It's just the 3-car variants of each that we get. There are community mods that allow you to get those 4-car versions, but I don't have that installed because it's not compatible with TSW6. Holy moly, I am staggered at this route. This is beautiful. This is well worth the money that I paid for this. It is gorgeous. I love the river, the canal, dike, I don't know, that's running on both sides of the track. That's so cool. Let's get a proper fly past shot, why don't we? Look at these wind turbines, man. This is beautiful. I love this route already. How far is it to the next railway crossing? Is what I want to know. Too far. That is gorgeous. Oh, I need to... my mouse wheel is still pretty broken, sadly, but hey, can't really do anything about that. So yeah, the route's pretty linear, but so it's like Zwolle, Meppel, Assen, Groningen. I love how the deadman's pedal, thanks to that air cylinder, I think that it's an air cylinder, lets you know beforehand whether it's gonna trigger, so you can trigger it before the buzzer has even sounded. I don't think there's any other safety system in this game which does that. These Koplopers are actually pretty old. The first prototype entered service in the late 70s, and then the what was it? I'm trying to remember. The I think like mainline trains entered service in the early to mid 80s to mid 90s. So they're not exactly spring chickens in any sense of the word. The SNG3 is definitely a spring chicken. Only entered service in 2018, I think. Sorry about that. Okay, 120 limit coming up. Shush. Man, this route is gorgeous. I'm just drinking the scenery in because this route is beautiful. Like, I know like Dovetail Games gets a lot of flack for their shoddy business practices and unfinished DLCs and things like that, but this is an exception to the rule. This is a diamond in the rough. Let's give it some train brake. Notch 2. There goes an SNG3, which is really small by comparison. Alright. Yeah. That's really annoying, but... yeah, the sounds are also exquisite. Like, I'm not kidding, this route has some beautiful sounds. Like, just listen to this! That sounds great! And the sounds of the interior and the modeling. I know, I'd say I haven't even gone the entire length of the route yet, and this has to be like a 9 out of 10 route for me already. I think what doesn't make this a 10 out of 10 is the lack of the 4-car variants for the SNG and a lack of 4-car variants for the SNG and the Koploper. But other than that, this route is pretty damn near perfect. There's also a lack of timetable layers, but that honestly makes sense. If you're driving on this route, you will, the vast majority of the time, be driving rolling stock that's included with the route. Okay, 140. Come on. Let's give it some beans. 46 kilometers to Assen. This route is actually pretty decently long as well. It's 100 kilometers long. But it takes just under an hour to complete a full run if you've got the oh goodness. If you've got the Koploper in about an hour and 10 minutes if you got the doing an all stops service with the SNG3, which is pretty much a perfect length for me anyway. You can also sound the horns together if you hold down your spacebar and end keys at the same time if you're on keyboard. There goes another SG3, single car this time. How's the performance? Decent, about 50 FPS right now. Well, there isn't like many hills or mountains to include, so I'm not surprised. Also, like the track clutter, foliage detail, etc. is also pretty dang good as well. Like this is really good. Like detail. I wonder if Nederlandse Spoorwegen or NS, the rail operator, made Dovetail do the route well. Like, I don't know. Okay, coming up to, I think it's Meppel, crossing over a motorway. We do have an 80 limit coming up through Meppel, which is annoying, but hey. Can't really do anything about it, can we? Another crossing over a canal. Is that a good shot? Ah, wrong button. That's the button. Is that a good shot? I don't know. I'll probably do it later. There goes another Koploper. A double set this time. Oh goodness. Watch full, please. Crabbing on the brakes at the last second. Shush. That's the ATP letting us know we're overspeeding. There we go. Thanks, ATP. Alright, but I already knew that. That's really annoying how we have to slow down so much through Meppel, but hey, can't really do anything about it. Yeah, we're at Meppel. Sound the horn. Coming through. Another well-detailed station by the looks of it. Nice. And we can go up to 140, back up to 140. Oh goodness. Wonder if we've got a... Which way are we going? Are we heading off to the right? Yeah, we're heading off to the right. This is a beautiful route, man. A rare case of Dovetail Games actually doing a stupendous job. There goes another Koploper. Okay, that's the 140 sign. Come on. Let's give it notch 10 for maximum beans. Well, not fully maximum beans. I just don't want to overcharge the tap changer. Oh, I think it doesn't allow you to overcharge it. Okay, that's good. So I can just give it full beans and not worry. Probably not as many people will get Zwolle to Groningen now that we're in the TSW6 era, because it doesn't have the latest and greatest features, i.e. train announcements, faults, track speed restrictions, or all of the other features which Dovetail Games implemented for TSW6. But this route is a masterpiece in its own right, and I'm not gonna let that get in the way of me having... I'm not going to let the lack of the new features get in the way of me having a grand old time with this route. Goodness. Alright, we've got 23 minutes to do 39 kilometers. We should be able to do it at 140. Oh, railway crossing coming up. Hang on. I like these railway crossing bells. It's a very nice sound. But I think I still think my favourite railway crossings are the Japanese ones, because those, simply for nostalgia value. You've actually got like multiple different main modes with this thing. You've got like shunting, parking, and driving and off, which you have to select before selecting your reverser direction, which is a bit unusual, that's for sure. Oh, there we go. Sorry, it wasn't recognizing my input on the keyboard, so I had to pause the game, so it did. That's annoying. Oh well. Train is so good, man. Such a good unit. Like Dovetail really went to town with this route, and I like that. Like, why like for the first Dutch route you have to come up with a lot of assets that you didn't have before, like all of these housing assets, for instance, the railway crossings, the trains, the stuff by the side of the tracks, like that package facility over there, whatever that is, like the track speed limit signs. Oh, hello, did you see that? I forgot that was a feature with this route. Pelican nests. Like, you can find nesting pelicans about the track, which is just such a neat little feature. Ah, sorry. Alright. This is honestly pretty relaxing. For one thing, because there aren't too many steep gradients along this route. Also, one thing I just noticed, this, like, speed bar, instead of like a dial, it's horizontal, like in an old American sports car from like the 60s. It's so interesting. Like, you don't really see that too often these days, having a speed bar like that. I know you're not really supposed to sound your horn for level crossings in Holland. At least I don't think so, but I still do it because I like the horn on this train. Man, look at us go. Look how high up I am! Yeah, the reason the cab was built up above is because it was built to have like gangway doors between two trains, but after these trains were rebuilt in the mid-2000s, that feature was actually removed because it was deemed too what's the word? Unreliable. The feature was deemed a bit too unreliable. I like the trackside details and everything. It just captures the feel of Holland really well, and I do like that. If you don't have this route yet, I can highly advise that you pick it up, because what station are we coming up to? Hoogeveen. I think that's how you pronounce that. Come on, mouse wheel, stop being annoying. I do plan on getting a new mouse, but not for a bit. Hoogeveen. I'll sound my horn because I don't want the passengers to cause bother. Through Hoogeveen at line speed. Wow. Stay behind the yellow line, please. Turning north. I know like this route wouldn't really be for everyone, because not a lot of people are into Dutch trains or things like that. Ooh, there's another pelican nest. But if you're into something that's a bit out of the ordinary, I can highly recommend this. There's another S&G. Single unit this time. I think another reason why this route is a 9 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10 is because I would have personally preferred to see a route like Amsterdam Centraal to Rotterdam Centraal rather than Zwolle to Groningen. But yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Because Zwolle to Groningen is a really good route. I just wish we could, like, Amsterdam to Rotterdam would have been a bit more busy, but at the end of the day, maybe they were considering it and just didn't have the development time for it or something. I don't know. I'm not Dovetail, so. Ooh, there's another pelican. There's a lot of pelicans on the catenary mass. There's another nest. And another. Wow. Okay. There goes another track off to somewhere. Don't know where that goes. I'm not too clued up on where Dutch railways go. It's astounding that this unit can be this powerful while still running on 1500 volts overhead, because that doesn't really allow for a lot of power. 24 kilometers to go with 14 minutes left on the clock. Just under 14 minutes, I should say. There are a lot of pelican nests dotted around. Wow. They must really like these overhead catenary masts. There's actually a complaint I have about Dutch, American, and British railway crossings, which I've noticed. The barriers don't go across the full length of the road. And basically that means some people think, ooh, I can just use this to zigzag between the barriers since there's an open gap before the train arrives if I'm in a hurry. That basically, like, there have been quite a few railway incidents caused by that. So, yeah. I just think it's unsafe. You need to have the barrier go down across the full length of the road, so in order for an idiot like that to go careening across the tracks before the train comes, he would have to crash straight through the barrier, which is obviously not a lot of people would do. The Japanese have the right idea. Most of the railway crossings are barriered, and the barriers go across the full length of the road. And the ones that don't have barriers are just so underused that they're either pedestrian or there's just not enough traffic there to warrant an incident like that. Oh my goodness, I just got mesmerized by the track passing by. I forgot to mention, I have London Midlands Enhanced Signal Visibility mod that, in effect, for all the British routes, it swaps out the signal textures entirely, but for other routes, it just enhances the visibility of the light. So, yeah. It's a really good mod. If you're on PC, I can highly recommend it. It's on the Train Sim community website. Are we coming up on another station? Yeah, we are. Sound the horn. Straight through. That's an interesting platform configuration. There's another Koploper. Another double unit. We're still at 140 with 15 kilometers to go. And then, yeah, we've got Groningen, or rather Groningen, at 141. Groningen is actually depicted in a bit of an unusual state. It's actually, when they sent the survey team, when Dovetail sent their survey team out to survey Groningen, with Netherlands' Spoorweggen's permission, of course, Groningen was actually in the middle of a pretty hefty overhaul and getting a huge rebuild. So yeah, it's actually depicted in TSW with that rebuild in progress. So yeah, it's it's basically just a giant construction zone, a bit like what was it, Paddington on Great Western Express. like a huge chunk near Paddington at the time the route is set, i.e. 2015. It was having a tunnel built for the Elizabeth line. So there's a big construction site near Paddington Station on the Great Western Express where the Elizabeth line was getting built. And I've actually ridden on that line in the modern day. 10 years after that construction was taking place. And yeah, the Elizabeth line, I think it was worth it. The Elizabeth line is a great transport link. I've used it often. But hop on it. You're underneath central London in like 45 minutes. It's superb. "10 kilometers to go with 6 minutes to do so." I think we can do that, right? That'll actually be my first stop at the Koploper. Starting to get into a more forested part of the route. One interesting thing about this railway that it seems as though the roads parallel it quite a lot of the time, which is pretty cool. Eight kilometers to go. I think we'll get there in time. No problems at all. It's pretty easy to maintain speed in this thing, even though it doesn't have anything like a cruise control. The only train on this route which has anything close to a cruise control is the Vectron layers in off Kensington, which does a couple of tanker runs. It would be pretty cool if we could have gotten a Dutch freight locomotive with this route, but hey, we got two brand new methods of rolling stock, and in this day and age, that's pretty unusual. The average, it seems, with new routes is we get one new locomotive and one recycled. Even with third-party routes, like for example, Bits and Bob, we got the OBB 1020, which is brand new to the game, and then we got the BR 111, which was recycled from Salzburg to Rosenheim, albeit with quite a few changes to the interior to make it conform to the era, and it also has a different livery. Deutsche Bundesbahn blue and cream versus Deutsche Bahn traffic red, which is depicted on Salzburg Rosenheim. Four kilometers to go with 5 minutes to get there. I think we'll make it in time. I hope. We haven't even had any adverse signals yet, which is pretty nice. Yeah, okay, we have an 80 limit coming up for Assen. Assen has to be my favorite station on the route, and you'll see why. It's beautiful. Solar panel field, nice. Shut the power off. 2.7 kilometers to go. Get the train brake on. Bring our speed back slowly. Actually, not yet. 1.9 kilometers to go. There's the 80 limit marker. There is it. Shush. I can't cancel ATB by pressing Q. There we go. Coming into Assen. Man, this thing is smooth. Slowing down, wow. Is a smooth unit on the braking front. Ooh, there's someone on his bike on the platform. Is that even legal? Has to be, right? Look at this station building design though. Architecture. Wow. Notch 7, which is full service. Bit of an overshoot. Will we still remain in the platform? Yes, we will. There's another S&G. Yeah. Yeah, this building's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that! And then it also has like an accessible cafeteria area in here, if you go in here. There's the S&G heading to Zwolle. This is the way to do public transport. This is great. You know, I've got 2 minutes here. So yeah. Let's go and have a look at... Oh, I should probably cut out the vigilant dead man isolation. There we go. Let's go and have a look around. Why don't we? Are there any collectibles I can get? Yeah, with the 1324 to Groningen. Got like a fire hydrant. And on his phone. These stations are really clean, spotless, functional. I do like them. Oh yeah. We've got like a route map. So yeah, the station is Zwolle, Meppel, Hugeveen, Bijlen, Assen, Haren, Groningen, Europa Park, and Groningen. Yeah. We're obviously only stopping at Zwolle, Assen, and Groningen today because we're on an express run in Koploper. Yeah, that's our stop marker. That's where we ended up. Oh dear. There's the door for the gangway, but we can't use it for obvious reasons. Turn the dead man isolation back on. There goes the S&G. So yeah, what time do we get to Groningen? 1:41. Okay. Check my recording software. Okay, we're doing well. So yeah, it'll take like 15 minutes to do the run to Groningen. Beans! Next stop and final stop, Groningen in 24 kilometers. Oh, I should have done it for the external cam, but oh well. I'll do that in my next Koploper video. I think this has to be one of my top 10 routes in TSW. I have to do another one of those videos where I rank my top 10 routes in the game, but probably I'll only do that once Preston to Crew comes out. I might even get Birmingham to Crew by All Aboard Studios. That route looks absolutely awesome. Alright. Clear up to 140, but we have to wait until we get to to wait until the back of the train passes. Maximum welly. Here we go. Oh wow, this thing accelerates. This thing accelerates really quick. Wow. So yeah, got just a small portion of the route left to go. Yeah, and look at that, we're already at line speed. That is ridiculously quick. Wow. See, it accelerates really smoothly. I love that. It's smooth, has smooth but fast acceleration. Honestly, that reminds me of the Japanese bullet train, the E5 series that you get in Train Sim Classic. That thing accelerates absurdly quickly, but very smoothly. You honestly don't know that you're going at the absurd rate of speed that you are until you overspeed and the ATS kicks you in the rear end and says, "Come on, you're not supposed to do that." Yeah, so we're heading for Groningen platform 3B. I believe the platforms at Groningen are actually split into two parts, like A and B sections. So two trains can be on the same platform, one going west, one going east/south, which is a neat system. I do like the ATB system. Once you get the hang of it, it's a docile beast. It's not like in Juicy, which will kick you in the rear end if you're not too careful. I've actually been playing quite a bit, but during the time I was sick, I've actually been learning how to play SimRail, that Polish railway simulator. I just procured it, and it's definitely a bit of a learning curve, but having multiplayer in a train sim with a working dispatcher radio is wow. And also, like, the longest route in that game is Warsaw to Katowice, which is a staggering 300 kilometers long. For those who like imperial units, that's what is it? That's 185 miles. Blows even the longest TSW route clean out of the water. Has it gotten foggy? Hang on, let me take it. If we go to photo mode, let's take a look at the fog density 0, cloud. Oh, huh, odd. There goes another Koploper, double header. Man, this is such a good route. Again, I can highly recommend this. Highly recommend. Oh, it wasn't taking my throttle inputs. I had to pause the game again, sorry. $15 kilometers to go. There's another pelican nest. Those are so cute, man. I do like the pelican nests. TSW6 is so not is so similar to TSW5 that it's not even funny. I know I could go into a rant about it, but I've put it on air before that I really hate the yearly release model thing. Like, why not do just a core update to the game so it doesn't break our mods, and also we don't have to download the whole bloody game again. I hate that with a passion. And I know some people are going to go straight down to the comment section and be like, oh, Dovetail needs to do it for visibility and marketing purposes, but no, they don't. They really do not need to do that. And it also screws over the people on the Epic Games Store because they can't transfer all of their DLCs over at the same time. So they have to wait for their DLCs that they paid for in stages. And also the people on Game Pass, like the Xbox Game Pass, the people have to wait for TSW6 to be put on Game Pass. It's not an instant thing. Which is very annoying. Under 10 kilometers to go, 8 minutes to get there. Haven't got signal delays turned on. Like, signal delays applies to all previous route add-ons, but I don't want to turn it on because I don't really like it. I just want to... I might do like a couple of videos with signal delays enabled, but probably not too many. Is this Groningen Europa Park? I think it is. Or it's Onen Depot. Can't remember which. We've got 130 limit coming up. No, this is Onen Depot. Never mind. Speed to come back naturally. There's a couple of Koplopers over there. Oh, hello. Ooh, there's a Zwolle G6. Hello. A couple of G6s actually. Right, glad to know my branding patch still works. And the DB branding gets replaced by Zwolle branding. It's annoying that Zwolle didn't license it, but I can see... Yeah, on the depot is pretty big, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, and there is a Vecchi. There's a Vectron. Nice. A couple of tankers on the back. 100 kilometers in the Koploper. Nice. Fair play. Which means this route's like 100 and what? 7 kilometers long? That's pretty impressive. Coming up on Groningen Europa Park. Coming through. There's a lot of NPCs milling around, that's for sure. We do have an 80 limit coming up, with 5 kilometers to go. Man, this is such a good route. If I want to do something that's not too challenging, this is definitely a route for you. Before this route was announced, I was actually considering getting Chris Trains' Koploper for Train Simulator Classic. But thankfully I didn't need to, since it was coming to TSW. Let's do a notch one on the brakes. There's the warning sign for the 80 limit. Shush. Quiet. Oh, ATB. You're so annoying sometimes, man. But it is a pretty docile beast if you know what you're doing. Three kilometers to go, 80 limit in force. There's the line coming in from the east of Groningen. One reason I actually got this route is because I was hearing Dutch people who live in this area in real life talk about it in like YouTube comments and on the Dovetail forums and say this is actually really accurate. Like, I wouldn't have gotten this route if I didn't think it was as accurate as it was possible to be. And it is pretty dang accurate. Like, a 9 out of 10 route. I also like the central driving position on this train. Very, very handy. Oh. No, that wasn't Groningen Europa Park. This is Groningen Europa Park. My bad. Oh. Notch 3. Notch 3 on the brake seems to cancel the ATB buzzer. I think my only complaint about the Koploper in terms of driving is that the brakes take ages to release, which is very annoying. No, wrong button. 1 kilometer to go. 3 minutes to get there. That should be more than fine at 40 kilometers an hour. Nope, wrong button. There we go. Man, this is actually really slow. Ugh. Excuse me. $500 meters to go. Doesn't really matter if we're at line speed, a bit below line speed. We'll get there, no problem at all. Here's I almost just massacred the pronunciation at Groningen, which is nice. Oh yeah, we're pulling into one of the bay platforms. So yeah, that's the Groningen main station building. That's full onto the brakes. Stop! Don't hit the buffer. Phew. Okay, we did. We nailed that stop, buddy. So yeah. Oh. See what I meant about Groningen being an absolute construction zone in TSW? Yeah. Wow. It's not often where you get a TSW route that's depicted under construction. Put the brakes into notch 1. S&G. Koploper. Anything over on this side? No. And also the station building is gorgeous. Look at that. So yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness. Wow, okay, I just got a ton of points. Wow, okay. So yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Excuse me. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for some more TSW6 content, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.